Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Glad you made it. This is a social production. We're doing it on Friday, July the 19th, 2024. Thank you for joining me. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? Dropped on Wednesday and Friday. Follow me on Instagram if you'd like to get them in segments. You like the full-length videos, check out patreon.com/robsadra if you'd like to fiscally, financially support the show. But you can also find the videos for free on the YouTubes, of course. Subscribe on the YouTube channel so you get the full reminders, and it helps you get the notification, and it spreads with the algorithms, helps your boy, help yourself. Have a little silly goose time around here to keep it loose. If you've been with me from the get-go, sending all the love right back to you. Wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, down south in the United States, further down south, Mexico, South America, over there in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, the Koreas, China, Vietnam, everybody over there in the stands, over there in Eastern Europe. What up to my Eastern European friends? Konnichiwa. Oh, it's Friday, baby. Let's get right into it. Let's have a little bit of fun all over the place today. No particular agenda whatsoever. No direction whatsoever. We will see where we step into. We will see where it lands. We might step in a little bit of jizz. We might just step in a little bit of dog dew. We might just step in a little puddle. You like puddles, don't you? I know you like it wet. I know you like it when it rains, because when it rains, there's sunshine after that shit. So I hope you're doing well wherever you are. You're tuning in. You're like, oh, it's Friday. I feel like we're about to get it on. And yes, we are about to get it on. And we're about to get it off as well. Oh, boys and girls, ladies and gents, let's get a sip of this bad boy right here. Let's get a little bit caffeinated, first of all. Step one, get caffeinated. Step two, keep getting caffeinated. Yes. Yes, boys and girls. We are here to talk about a little bit of the psychology, a little bit of emotional stuff, a little bit of what's going on inside you, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. It's time to analyze what is going on inside you, and so we can discuss later on what is going on the outside. First, you must discuss the inside, then you must go to the outside. So what we're here to do today is we are here to talk about a little bit of what's going on inside and then the outside, and then we mix it together, we get a little bit of inside and out. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Vincenzo Pettuti. We are here to discuss what is going on here inside you, literally, hardly only what's going on in the outside. It doesn't matter what's going on in the outside. What matters is what goes on in the inside. Dr. Vincenzo Pettuti, I graduated from the School of the Psychology International. We're about to discuss what is going on inside you and what's going on at the outside. What you're supposed to do is not allow what is going on the outside to impact what is going on the inside. That is the exact psychology of the title pressure of it. When the individual comes in and says, I feel something on the outside is impacting me on the inside. That is when you're supposed to say, take a look at yourself in the mirror. Is there a spitting image of yourself in the mirror? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? There's a little bit of for the psychology for you to break it down and see what is going on the outside impacting you on the inside. Yes. You must first dwell deep down inside, see what is bubbling inside you. Yes. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, what's bubbling inside you? That was Dr. Vincenzo Pettuti, our dear friend, doctor on hand, analyst. What's going on, ladies and gents? So let's get right into it. Let's get right into it, shall we? Let us get ease. I know what you're all thinking. You're like, how do I go out there and start juggling? You're like, I want to be a juggler out there. Maybe you're a juggler already out there. How does one even get into the juggling game? Sure, you could first start with first you must see juggling to be able to recognize that there is juggling going on the outside, so that you can think and be like, oh, maybe that could be me one day juggling. And you might start with objects. You might start with 3 items, 2 items to be one. Let's start with 1 item. Just start juggling 1 item, 1 ball perhaps. Keep it simple. Just 1 ball juggler. People will look at you and be like, that fella's on his. Oh, we don't know what he's up to. That lady, she's juggling 1 ball. Next thing you know, some time goes by. Next thing you know, you're juggling 2 items now, 2 balls. Now you're juggling 2, which is fantastic. Eventually you'll get good and you might want to start juggling 3 items. Now you got yourself 3 balls in your hand. You're a juggler, man. You're juggling all sorts of things. And you're used to it because that's what we all do. We all juggle. We all jiggle and juggle together. That's what it is. If you start with a little, inanimate objects. First start with a ball. Fruits, vegetables. Oh, I got me a couple of pears. I'll just, these 2 pears right here, I will slice and dice them later, but first I must juggle. You'll say that. What are these oranges doing in the fridge? Time to juggle. Get a couple of apples. Oh, you go to the grocery store, you pick up a couple of apples, you start juggling. I just spat. I don't know if that got a recorder. I just spat when I said juggle. When you pick up the oranges at the grocery store, you start juggling, you start spitting. Oh, that's how you know a show's going well, when when there's spit out there. That's when it's real. That's when it's all right there. The more spit, the higher the ratings. The more spit, the better. People like podcasts with spit, and so that's why every 5 time I will just stop and just right there with a little bit of snot, a little bit of what have you been talking about juggling though. Let's get right into it, shall we? Let us ease right into it. So yeah, it's good to juggle at the grocery store just to be able to determine which apples are ripe for you. And which apples are no bueno. Thank you very much. Juggle. Put the ones you don't like down. Take the ones with you and juggle all the way out to the cash register. Scan them while juggling. Juggle outside. You don't need a bag, fam. You don't need a bag. You don't need a plastic bag. You don't need an iron bag. You don't need a bag made out of cotton. You don't need a bag made out of wool. You don't need a bag made of hemp. You could probably use a bag made of hemp. You could probably roll that bag and smoke it. You don't need a bag though, because you're a juggler. And eventually down the line, you'll get to the point where you're like, I need to step up the juggling game. Inanimate objects were good, fine and dandy, yes sirs. But it's time to make it a little bit more exciting. Then you might start, picking up objects that are still maybe inanimate, but a little bit harder to handle. Maybe a pair of scissors. Oh, I'm juggling a pair of scissors. I'm juggling. Next thing you know, you're a knife juggler, juggling knives. And that's great. And the more cuts you get on your fingers, the better you become at juggling knives, until the point where you stop bleeding from your fingers. And that day, you'll realize you've now mastered the. I also have to. I gotta be honest with you. There's a fly. There's a fly in the premise. So we have a guest today. You got a fly on the wall. We got a guest today. And this fly, I don't know if it got recorded or not, but it just zoomed right in front of my eye. So hope you guys saw. Oh man, maybe we'll get a chance to sit down and talk with the old fly on the wall. See what the fly's saying. I don't even know where it comes from. But nonetheless, I'm happy to have him here, or her. Her, him, who knows? But now you're juggling knives, and that's cool too. You got a couple of a little cut here, a little bruise there. You drop it. Oh, there goes my toe. Oh no, I chopped off the tip of my cock. Because you're juggling knives, and that could happen. But do not be deterred. Just because you split your cock in half, not just because you tossed the knife so high up in the air and it landed so perfectly right down the center of your cock, and now you got a split cock, like the kind of split. You know how they split tongues for pleasure and for aesthetics and for fucking devil worship and whatever else they satanic rituals, who knows, or just or your local mathematician who happens to split tongues. No satanic activity from that guy or gal, just your local physicist who split his tongue and is now fucking I'm taking ramen down the pipe of using my split tongue. For the lady or the gentleman that like to eat out the vag or give good head, but with 2 tongues, because one tongue, but like split in half, which is nice. So now, but that's the thing, you drop the knife and now you split your cock in half, straight down the center. It still works. It's just now there's 2 of them, which you never thought you'd have, but now you do. So good on you. But you got a long one on you anyway, so it doesn't. You could twist them around each other. Each make it like a Twizzler. Make it like a licorice candy. Make it like, I don't know, just twist it around, or not, leave them hanging, now you got two. They're slightly thinner, not as girthy as they used to be. You could still stick them together and they'll still be just as good. Not saying a cock split in half is not as good as a regular cock. That's not, I've only handled my own and it's no cuts down, it's just one piece. But if there is somebody out there who's splitting it down to half because they're like, yeah, I gotta split it down to half and I gotta just hang from a helicopter, I gotta use the inertia, I gotta pull a couple of strings, I gotta make a phone call, I don't know, hang myself up to dry, something. I don't know why you do it. I support it, but this was an accident. Of course, you happen to be juggling. You didn't make an appointment out there to be like, today's the appointment day where I go out there and split my cock in half. Wasn't you, sir. Certainly wasn't you, ma'am. But now you got it. But that's just because you like juggling and things happen. It's okay. But eventually you might want to still be like, oh, there's more to this game than just juggling knives and scissors for the entertainment of the masses. Oh, master juggler coming through, doing a European tour. Look at him juggle, look at her juggle, they'll say. But eventually you'll have to one day you will want to work your way up to juggling chainsaws. That's where the game changes. That's where the game remains the same, but with higher stakes. That's when you don't have time to, that's when you don't want to mess up. Because juggling, if you are juggling, balls are fine. An egg or two here, it's fine. You break it, make an omelet. It's all right, it fell on the ground, no problem. That's just a little bit. Who hasn't picked up an egg off the ground and fried it? Come on. So who cares about eggs? But if it's chainsaws we're talking about, you gotta juggle a couple of chainsaws. You can't afford to make any mistakes. Because the consequences are going to be severe and you're going to be severed into pieces. So, the best thing I would actually advise if anybody's looking to juggle chainsaws, I would suggest you could start with inanimate objects. You could skip the whole juggling babies phase, which is like intermediate, just like as you're comfortable with inanimate objects, you've done the sharp objects, juggle a couple of babies, maybe dropped a few, but that's okay. It's okay to drop babies, but you can't drop chainsaws because everybody knows, if the chainsaws are on, you're gonna be, there goes my arm, which sucks. But also it might be the most exhilarating act on planet Earth for one time. Look at this guy juggle chainsaws. I say forget it. Forget the preparation steps. Just go straight from one day waking up to saying, yes, today's going to be the day that I'm going to be juggling chainsaws. That's way more impressive. Because if I knew you had no juggling background and just went straight to juggling chainsaws, that's mad respects. That's respects that is mad. A little bit disappointed, a little bit just aggravated, but nonetheless, it's respect. So go ahead and do that. If you happen to cut your limbs off, that is also fine. Anything for the masses, really, as long as it's for entertainment, I'm fully for it. I support it. It'd be nice if it lands on your body and it just gets lodged in your fucking right down your collarbone and sticks, and it just becomes a part of you. Now you're that guy. Now you're the guy that doesn't juggle but happens to walk into a party. He's got a half a chainsaw on his neck, and you can't remove it because that'll cost you your life. You can't push it further down because that'll just, that'll also end your life. It's just perfectly placed. I don't know how it landed on a perfect angle. It cut enough arteries, the ones that you didn't need, and didn't tamper with the ones that you needed. So you're good to go as long as you keep it fueled up. Now you're the guy that has to keep the chainsaw fueled up just so you maintain some sort of a lifeline, which is nice. I like it. I'd say if you're some sort of genetic freak out there, maybe they did a couple of experiments on you in a basement somewhere in a desert on a undisclosed location. Maybe you got maybe your family got a little bit of money to do some experimental science, some gray science, some science that's not black, not white, but somewhere down the center, but we got to find a few things. Let's say you are now regenerating limbs. Go ahead and, that's what you should have. You have that genetic mutilation, but it's mutilation makes it genetically mutated. It sounds like if it's a deficiency or like something's wrong with you, but that's a blessing. If you can regenerate arms like a little octopus, like a little like a little, I don't know what other, you know, like if you could, they took the DNA of a lizard that can grow back its own tail and they injected you with that sort of DNA. Now you can grow back arms. Go out and juggle chainsaws and drop a couple on your arms on purpose this time, not by accident. Juggle it for like 15 minutes and then drop one on your arm. Oh no, everybody's freaking out, but then stand there and just like, push out an arm, grow an arm right in front of people, and you be the talk of the town. And you have a great show going on all across the nation, man. And that's mad respects right there. Shout out to the gang, whoever's, you know, but that, it would suck. I don't recommend, if you can't regenerate body parts, do not do it, of course. But then again, I'm not here to tell people what to do, what not to do. If you're like, you know, who cares? I don't need two arms. I'm left-handed, I'm right-handed. I do everything right-handed. You know, maybe you're the type of fellow or lady who's never masturbated with the other hand. Maybe you got one really strong arm. I'm not saying it's left, I'm not saying it's right, but you've got one. Or maybe you're the type of fellow or lady who says, you know what, I don't even need my hands to master. I will just use my feet. Maybe you got one really strong foot, you know? So get rid of the arms. I don't care. Like, I do care about you, but I don't care if you don't care. And that's what we're all about. Caring when it matters and not caring when it doesn't, or something. So go ahead and do that. It's nice. I do want to see more juggling. It's impressive. People do that shit. People do it and it's impressive. I don't know how, you know, you're like, oh my God, with every toss of the chainsaw, you're like, how is this fellow or lady doing it? People are amazing, man. We will juggle anything, you know, balls of fire, you know, we will, you know, this is a can of pepper spray lit on fire and it's squirting pepper spray in the air and in my eyes and it's on fire and there's a skunk. I'm juggling skunk. You'll say that. And people are wonderful. We do magical things. I love it. Let's get a sip of this bad boy. Let's get right into it, shall we? Because it's Friday.
Well, first we must first concentrate what is going on the inside to talk about what is going on the outside. But if you have to catch yourself, cut your limb because you're a juggler out there and now you're deformed. Yeah, a little bit of deformation in you. And you are now not so comfortable going out the outside. People look at you, oh, the freak, oh, the pointy eye, the freak is missing a limb. Sit him down, talk to him, let him know that you're a juggler. You're a juggler. This happened to you because you were a dedicated juggler, yeah? Take the time to explain to the people why you cut all your limb, yeah?
Thank you, Dr. Vincenzo Picciuti. Hope everybody got that. Very clear, thorough analysis of how to deal with your injuries if you happen to be a chainsaw juggler, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, tired of just zipping up your pants on a regular basis and not getting your labia or your clit or your foreskin caught in the zipper? Every day is a regular day for you. Jack and Jill, regular Jack and Jill, just zipping up their pants on a regular basis, no mishaps, and you are going through life. You're like, oh, on my early 20s, on my early 30s, on my early 40s, on my early 50s, 60s, 70s. I've had such a wonderful life, but oh, I just, because you heard of people who get their foreskin or their uterus caught in the zipper, but it hasn't happened to you. You're like, I just want to be able to relate to people. So when I go to the local coffee shop and they're chit-chatting around the local coffee shop and everybody's like, what happened to you this morning? And some of it, you know, Jason will be all like, oh, nothing, just a regular, just putting on my pants, both feet at the same time. Of course, regular day for Jason, putting his pants on 2 feet at a time. I happen to catch my foreskin in the middle of the zipper and everybody's like, oh, yeah, this happened to me too, Jason. You're not the only one. And you're out there hearing this and you're like, yeah, totally. Yeah, of course this has happened to everybody, Jason. Of course. In the back of your mind, it's never happened to you. And you're just like, yeah, it's one of those situations where you got to go along with it, even though you know you've never experienced it. And you're like, of course, the dangers, the perils of getting your foreskin off, right? For every time my foreskin got caught in a zipper, Jason. If I showed you my cock right now, it'd just be zipper marks, and it'd just actually be no cock left. It'd just be zippers and a lot of bleeding. You know what I'm talking about, Jason? Giving him, fucking reassurance, letting everybody else on the, oh, we're all the same. But that's never happened to you, which sucks. You're missing out on life, fam. You're missing out on life. But guess what? It all ends now. We're brought to you by the zippers that'll guarantee you at least 3 to 4 times a month you will catch your labia, your vaginal, everything, the whole box, your balls. You will use zip up. It is now zipped with a piece of your foreskin in between it, and you are like, oh, this is so painful, but it's so beautiful because life is about, just feel a little bit, yes. And there you go. No longer the one standing in the corner, not knowing what everybody else is talking about, totally being able to relate. Family dinners, get-togethers, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Chinese New Year, or whatever you happen to be celebrating. Everybody's passing around some dumplings and everybody's reminiscing about the time that their genitals got caught in a zipper. And now you can with confidence walk in a room, be like, oh, that's me familiar right there, the gang that happens to catch their genitals in zippers, man. And you can all share stories, pull up photos, pull up scans, do autopsies, whatever you like, just a full body x-ray. Bring out a full body x-ray at the time that you have to go to the emergency room because you caught the zipper so up far your penis that you had to go to the emergency room and get it removed. And doctors had to come in and bring other doctors who yelled to the other doctors, bring more doctors. We need to take a look at this penis caught in a zipper, man. We never seen anything like this. They'll say that. Freak doctors, they've seen it. They just want to bring in their colleagues so they can have a laugh at you behind your back or right in front of your face. Look at this guy with his cock in a zipper. But totally relatable, because then they'll pull down their pants and be like, man, no need to worry. This happens on a regular basis to everyone. As a matter of fact, as we're operating on you, our cocks happen to be caught in the zipper as well, which is nice. But again, if you just leave it up to chance, if you just leave it up to regular pants with regular zippers, that is just, once in a blue moon, one might get lucky. It's like waiting to win the lottery, if that's even possible. If the lottery, you hear things about the lottery, that it might be rigged, that it might be ran by the mafia, that there's some fish going on with lotteries, that it's something. You're like, oh, but I'll play the odds. I will put on my pants and hope that it all works out. And I hope that I get a little bit of ball sack in my zipper. And guess what? Day after day, like a chump, like a sucker going out there, and you're like, oh, guess what didn't happen to me today? Yeah, Jason, my foreskin didn't get caught in the zipper, and I do feel totally left out. You'll say that, Jason will be like, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. You should have invested in pants with zippers that guarantee you get your foreskin caught in the zippers. So don't wait around like people wait around the dot-com era or the dot-com bubble. Don't wait for the bubble to burst. Get on the action now. Don't wait for this to become another NFT or a cryptocurrency, or don't wait for this to become, don't wait for this to be the next board game, the one that really takes off. Don't wait for this to be the next supplement that'll take your game and just level it up like 3x. Don't wait for this to be the get it now. Start bleeding from the crotch today. I guarantee you're gonna have a little bit of difficulty getting it on first, but after the pain comes pleasure. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Friday, man. It's Friday. It's time to get a little local. Time to bring it together, yes. I've thought about this, which is something maybe you've thought about as well out there. They say gangster's paradise. Gangster's paradise. I was thinking about what would be gangster's paradise? What is a gangster's paradise? If there were to be if there's a paradise, but specifically for gangsters, because is it a place where gangsters get to relax and like sit down and like they're surrounded by other gangsters, but everybody's cool, calm, collected, and nobody's on edge because they're all gangsters and it's paradise?
is there any gang activity going on in Gangster's Paradise? Or is there no gang activity in what is the paradise for gangsters? Like, is it, because what would be the ideal circumstance, situation, paradise for a gangster? Would it be a place where they would be freely shooting the gats? Would it be a place where all the deals were sketchy and under the table? Would it be a place where everybody was throwing down was gambling, illegal? Is that what goes on in Gangsters? Do we shoot dice in Gangsters Paradise? Do we sit around and shine our bullets? What do we do in Gangsters Paradise? Do you do drive-bys but nobody gets hurt, because if people got hurt in Gangsters, then there would be nobody in Gangsters Paradise. So is it just a paradise where you get to do gang activity without any real repercussions? Because then you could just be like, yeah, this makes sense. This is a paradise for gangsters. I could do drive-bys and also have drive-bys done on me, but then tomorrow we'll get to wake up and do it all over because this is Gangsters Paradise. Yes, surrounded by bitches and hookers and lots of substances, chemicals, all sorts of substances, and nobody ever gets old, wrinkly, hurt, injured. Is that Gangster's Paradise, where you're essentially invincible, but you are still doing gang activity? Is it, or is it like a, is it just like a, or is it a place for gangsters to sit around and not do gangster activity, but they are still gangsters? Like, are they just like, maybe they are doing sessions where it's like, okay, from 9 to 10, we're gonna just, practice our crip walking. From 10 to 11, we're gonna throw up gang signs. From 11 to 12, we're gonna, go back to crip walking. From 12 to 1, take a break from the crip walking and the gang signs thrown. Come back after lunch, we might wanna do a little bit more crip walking, a little bit of maybe get in the low riders and just like bounce up and down a little bit. But yeah, I do wonder what Gangster's Paradise, because is it a separate paradise from like regular paradise? Because I suppose because there is the there's the indicator that now you are in Gangster's Paradise, because you can't be the same as regular paradise. Because I would assume, I'm not quite sure. I just have a little bit of a little bit of just questions. Or is it just like gangsters who are like not on surveillance? Gangsters who are just, would they need to be would they need to do, if it's paradise, would they need to do anything to maintain the lifestyle, which is gangster? But then if you're not doing the lifestyle, then you're not. So I'm confused. I'll say that I'm confused. If you are a gangster in paradise, leave a comment. What is it? What's the sitch? Give us a little scoop. Are the bullets just happy bullets? Are they, what is the, are there collision between gangs? Are there or does every gang get along? Because everybody's now in the gang. Yes, every gang in Gangster's Paradise must probably get along. But then if everybody gets along, and then if you're just one gang and there's no beef, then how are you gotta have gangsters. So you can't have gangsters without beef. So there must be a lot of beef, but or a medium amount of beef at least. A little bit of beef, a little bit of downtime, no repercussions, a lot of massages, because it is paradise after all. Are they just softer? Are they softer gangsters and gangsters? Are they free massages, of course, petties, manis, everybody's walking around with robes, but still they'll drop the rope and give you a beat down if need be, but it's paradise. So there probably no need for beatings or anything. So I'm just a little confused. I'm just a little bit curious, because there's an indicator, there's a little bit of a distinction, Gangster's Paradise, regular paradise. I'd like to know what goes on in and out. Let me know, leave a comment. Trafficking, no trafficking, do you still again engage in the activities, or is there, maybe everybody's just getting along. Maybe everybody's just friends. Maybe everybody's just maybe everybody's painting their guns all fun colors. Maybe they're shooting. Maybe they're shooting at some sort of, maybe they set up like target practice, but they like shoot at the target, and instead of like going for the target, maybe they'll like do like a cool little pattern with their bullets, and it's like, yes, this is gangster's paradise. Look there, Daryl. I use my bullets to outline a heart-shaped target for you, Daryl. It's for you, gang. Then Daryl will be like, oh, and then Daryl will grab his gun and like shoot a couple of bullets, and he'll put an arrow through the heart and be like, that's for you. And that's Gangster's Paradise. I don't know what goes on in Gangster's Paradise, to be honest with you. I am curious, though, I'll say that. I'm very curious. Sip to the gang, let's do this. There's a new wave of body modifications altering the human body, because we're always we're lifting, we're tucking, we're sucking, we're fucking, we are, and I believe there is a craze going on. I believe there's a new movement with long ass cracks are now in. Regular size ass cracks it's over. It is over. I'm not talking about Brazilian butt lifts. I'm talking specifically longer ass cracks. Let's bring those up a little bit, because there was a time where ladies' jeans got low rise, and it was nice because every once in a while you see a nice, you see the nice booty, and then you see the ass crack. And I want to say late 90s, early 2000s, ladies' jeans got really, really low cut. It was nice because it was down there, man. It was, just a low cut jean with just barely, and nice. So sometimes you see, but most often if you wanted to get a glimpse of ass crack, you had to hope that, somebody at the construction site, and they're not doing it for vanity or nothing. That's just a lifestyle. That's just that ass crack lifestyle. You let it hang while you do the good work. While you're building, you do the good work, let out a little bit of crack. But those days are gone, and I don't know when fashion will bring back really low-rise jeans, because things, you go from so many, skinny jeans, the straight jeans, baggy jeans, but we forget that the rise is the most important one, and we've covered the crack way too much, I'll say that. So we could either bring back low-rise jeans for the ladies and of course the gents, but we could also do something that's never been done before together. And guess what? There's a huge craze taking over at least Eastern Europe, making its way into Western Europe, and then eventually ending up right here in Americas, which is longer ass cracks for everybody. Enhance your ass cracks so that you are not letting people wait for you to either wear a really short t-shirt or top, or a combination of a short t-shirt with a really, with a really low-rise pair of jeans or pants. I hope you guys are getting the fly that's just coming in and out of here, because that shit is, man, fucking, again. But let's not get sidetracked. Let's remain focused on this very important subject. Long ass cracks. Yeah, a lot of times people like, I don't know how to pick the lover for me. Who's the right lover? Who's gonna be my mate? Who's gonna be my other half? And a lot of times they say the best decisions when it comes to making the right decision for picking out the right, better half, or just like equally just as good half, or not, a half that's that's not as, it's all right, like, it's like half as good at least, but like the better half most likely. But people will say that, but I don't know what that means, because what does it mean if you're just dealing with you? Because if that's the other half, then like bring them along, because why am I getting the shit if they're the better half? Then what is this? But they're like, oh, but that's my better half. Well, fucking bring him along or bring her along. I don't want to just be talking to the the half that's not as good, or just barely. So, but that's aside the point. In order to make that decision, you gotta back it up. Let's back it up for a second. In order to be able to make that decision, you must be able to figure out what's the indicator that tells you that's the right person for me. And they say that the eyes are the Windows 95 of the soul, man. But I say that technology's long gone, and we probably need something better than that. So I said to myself, if the eyes are the Windows 95 of the soul, of your feet, then the ass crack is probably the little slit that you can, maybe swipe a little card and get access and enter a room sort of situation. Maybe it's like a fancy hotel key that you swipe, like a debit card or like a credit card. So if it says accepted, if it's approved, that means you are good to go. So the longer the ass crack, the higher your chances of finding the right individual that is the perfect match for you. So instead of waiting for a brief moment where you might catch a glimpse of a little bit of ass crack, open the world up to yourself and others. Get enhanced, extremely long, large ass cracks that'll go all the way up to the back of your neck. That way, somebody could just be walking behind you. Instead of them lowering their gaze to your ass, they could just be like looking at the back of your neck and be like, that is a nice ass crack. And they're not wrong. They're not wrong. It's just yours is now extra, extra long, which is nice. Which is not, why leave it to chance? Why leave it to, what if you live in like colder conditions? What if you live in Canada? What if you live like half the year, it's like everybody's in parkas and coats, and like you know how lucky you gotta be for somebody to be layered down so you're able to see a little bit of ass crack? I say bring up the ass crack above the neck so that, fellas, ladies could just be walking on a nice, crisp fall, winter day, and sure, somebody might still be wrapped up in bubble wrap and all sorts of, fucking elk skin and, moose jaws and just whatever you want to call it, whatever you're wearing here. Or anywhere else that snows or anywhere else that's cold, or the Scandinavian countries will do really well with this shit. Antarctica, man, you want to see a little bit of the population rise among the igloo people of up north, further up north. Fucking give them longer ass cracks. That's how you make them procreate more. Because now they, how many layers you got to take off? You'll be like, that's the right ass crack for me. Whereas if it were to be on the back of your neck, you'd be like, yes. So I don't know if you move the ass crack all the way up to, should you move your asshole all the way up? Because we could do that. I say we just start with the line. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Why does it stop at the waist? Why does the ass crack? So why not go all the way up to the neck? Why do we stop at the waist? You're like, it's enough ass right there. Just a few inches, you know what I mean? Just a handful of ass crack and that's it. Well, I think I've listened long enough and I think I know what the people want, and it's longer ass cracks. So you're welcome. We made this happen with the good folks who dabble in experimental science. Of course, it is taking the swimsuit, bathing suit world and it's just turning it upside down because they weren't prepared for this shit. I don't know why they call it a bathing suit. Nobody actually bathes in a suit unless I'm wearing suits wrong. Perhaps and I've done a lot of things that were probably incorrect in my life, but they say, hey, the things that you do incorrect are the things that, whatever they say. And maybe I have been doing it. Maybe that's what I did with my suits. I don't have any more anymore. I had a couple of suits. I gave them away, but they didn't do me any good. I'll tell you that. Now come to think of it, it's probably because I wasn't wearing it in the shower because they said bathing suits, and I only happen to sometimes wear it on occasions where it was necessary. Way back in the day for some jobs, maybe some other occasions that required you to wear a suit. But never in the bathtub, never under the shower. And looking back, I do, they say, do you have any regrets? Not really. If I could do it, moving forward, I'll say this: if I were to get a suit, I'll only wear it in the shower. I will also wear it to the beach because it says swimming, and I'll encourage women to wear them too because it says, you say swimsuit, that's a nice, but it's basically underwear. If we're really being honest with ourselves, we call it a suit. It's components of it. It could be parts of a suit, but it's not a full suit. It's components. It's barely covering the goods, the tits, the vag, and I'm happy about it. I'm not, sometimes they say less is more, but in this case, it holds true. In this case, a Brazilian swimsuit is great because it's barely using any material, and again, less is more. Yes, so I do agree with that notion, but my God, if we could just elongate the ass crack and make people a little bit happier, a little bit more, just a little bit like, yes, we can. Whatever we decide together, yes, we can. Whatever we put our minds to it, yes, we did. And yeah, you don't need to wait around the construction site lingering for some dude to bend over. You could just walk up and down the street and that lady's got an ass crack all the way up to the neck. Now, you might feel the breeze a little bit differently, I'll say that, because man, if you've ever knelt down to do, if you've ever knelt down to fix something that's on the ground that requires you to be kneeling down, and you leave a little bit of exposed ass crack and a nice breeze comes in, and you're like, man, this is exhilarating. Why don't I do this more? Well, now you can, and now you don't have to wait for you to, come across an occasion or opportunity for you to have to kneel down. Now you could just be walking down the street and just feel a nice breeze on the back of your neck, your new ass crack. Congratulations, everybody, we did it together. You're welcome. And yeah, and that just takes people coming together and letting each other know what it is that they want. Letting each other know that there is options. Letting each other know that yes, let's get a sip of this bad boy and let's carry on, shall we? I'll say this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to hear that we are, we're moving along. People are creating. There's always new technology on the horizon. There's always advancements. There's always, new things coming out, new gadgets, new this, that, but the best thing that's come out in the most recent of times is the asshole laser. That's right, the asshole laser. Are you tired of your asshole being regular? Well, guess what? Do you love lasers and do you love your asshole? Yes, that's what I thought, because we did a survey and we asked people and we're like, what's the top 2 things that you like? Forget your family. Forget maybe you believe in a higher power. Forget that. Or maybe you don't. Maybe that's your thing. Who cares about that too? Maybe you're like, oh, I've got a dog. I don't care that you got a dog. What's the most important thing? When you put them all out, it's over there. What's the most important thing in life? You're like, oh, I love my work. But put that aside. Put the stuff that's on the surface aside and ask you, what is it that's most important to me? And you'll notice once you start peeling back the layers of the onion that everybody across the globe loves 2 things equally: their asshole and lasers. And I said, my God, why haven't we brought these 2 beautiful things together and combined them and make them into one, make them asshole lasers? And that's what we did. And that's why I traveled the world. That's why I went out there and I spoke with people. That's why I told people, what is it that you want to see? And they're like, man, every time I go to the bathroom and I sit down to take a shit, I wish I could shoot lasers out of my asshole too. I'm like, well, we're working on it, and guess what? We finally did it. You're welcome, everybody. Now you get to do a presentation at the office, and instead of having to wait around for your laser pointer to be, handed to you by your assistant so you can point at a thing on be like, this needs to be over there, and we need to, oh, babe, you see that thing at the tip of the, and then when there's a slope and where it rises and you circle it, instead of having to wait for that tedious moment of your assistant, who is maybe great at grabbing coffee, who is maybe good at giving hand jobs, who is maybe good at going down on you, who's got a great pair of tits, but nonetheless, there's only so much you can ask from a person. And yes, nobody's perfect, so when they come and they hand you your coffee, you can rest assured that you don't need to worry about, oh, tap myself down. Do I have my phone with me? Did I bring my laptop? Where are my keys? Where are my, where's my notepad? And the last thing on your mind these days is where's my laser pointer? But guess what? Now your asshole is the laser pointer. Simply unbuckle your belt, lower your pants, and aim with your brand new improved asshole, which also works as a laser. Point to anywhere on the map. Point to anywhere on the desktop. Point to anywhere on the billboard. Point to anywhere on the blackboard. Point to anywhere on the whiteboard. Point to anything that you're trying to make a point to it, and then point it, and then circle it, and then draw a line to it. And we're using your asshole. You will have to bend over. That's the only, we not like fully bent over, but slightly bent over. Slightly, because you got to work the angles. That's one thing that that we need to still work on. We are working on so that people could actually stand straight up and still point anywhere from their asshole using the laser that's now embedded in your eye, which is, but again, this is, you know, down the line, this is the first year where we're introducing this to the public. And in about 10 years, you will see people standing straight up, walking and just pointing with their lasers that are emerging from their assholes, which is great. Are you at a local rave? Are you at an underground rave? Are you popping pills and you know, staring? Are your pupils really like dialed in or out? Are they popping in and out? Are there strobe lights going in and out? Is there a smoke machine? Are there lasers at this event? Let me ask you this. Oh, the power at the local, you know, warehouse that we had to hijack a little bit of power from the factory across the street over there, and guess what? That factory's going out of business. They're liquidating, man. They're turning into liquid. They used to be solid. They used to stand on solid ground, but now it's like shaky time. So now they're liquid. They've liquidated the entire business. All the employees have turned into liquid. All their facilities turn into mush, liquid. The building itself, liquid. All the paperwork, liquid. Everything they had in their files in their cabinets, liquid. Their hard drives, they're liquidating. The owner of the company is a puddle on the, you are stepping on the owner. The owner would like you to grab some sort of a, you know, just a little bit of a, maybe grab a cup or two of the owner, put the owner in a freezer, freeze the owner, so that one day they could freeze the assets. But that's outside the point. The point is that your rave is now interrupted because these guys couldn't afford to pay their bills and the lights are out. And you're like, man, this was the greatest rave ever. No overdoses. Everybody got the right amount of Molly and everybody's having a blast. But guess what? The lasers are not working. Fantastic. There's plenty of smoke because there's plenty of smoke created by the people who are creating smoke, but there's no lasers, which sucks. I wish there was a way to keep the party going. And yes, now you can, because now you got lasers inside your assholes. Now the party, again, will take a different vibe. Everybody's going to be a little bit on angles. Everybody's going to be slightly on, you know, not standing up straight, but it's still going to be fucking lasers everywhere. Let me tell you this. If you are working on some sort of a, you know, reconnaissance mission in the middle of the desert, and you're looking through binoculars and you need to spot a couple of terrorisms. I need to point it out to your fellow anti-terrorism's group members, your fellow brethren and sistren in the uniforms, to be like, that's the place where we're going, and they're looking through their binoculars and like, where are you pointing to? I can't see you. And you're like, right there. And they're like, where? And you're like, right there, between that mountaintop and that goat over there. And they're like, the goat that's jumping and kicking the other goats. You're like, no, not those two goats. Those goats are, look, those two goats are fighting over the goat that they want. Those two are male goats. They're fighting to mate with the female goat. I'm pointing to the female goat, and your buddy's like, I can't see the female goat. But my God, these male goats have giant cocks. That's distracting. You're like, get away, stop focusing on the male goat. He'll say that, look at the female goat. That's where we need to go, because that's where and that's when you can turn around, reverse it, park it, drop your pants, point with your asshole that's got a laser inside of it, and be like, there, right there. You see that right there? And your friend is now staring at your asshole, going blind. And he's like, all I see is your ball sack is in my mouth, and there's a really strong beam coming out of your asshole. You're like, don't look at my asshole, you idiot. Look at what we're pointing at, man. And all that training comes in, it falls into pieces like a puzzle, falls into place on its place, and everybody gets along. And next thing you know, you have fucking taken out the terrorisms, and you were able to go back to the extraction point because you left your laser pointer behind at the station, but you luckily got the one in your asshole. So you're welcome. Are you diving and swimming with sharks? Are you going in the deep sea? Are you going in the ocean and you're like, man, I wish I had a light that could, you know, fucking flash from here to there because it's really dark, and you put some lights in the water. Why is the water so dark when you go inside and it's deep? Put some lights in the water. Why don't we light the water? Why is the water so dark? You'll say that at the depths of the ocean. I mean, guess what? With your laser pointing asshole, now you can light up at least your surrounding. At least you can make a little bit, oh, we are hunting for treasures. We are excavating under the ocean. We are trying to drain the ocean. And we are trying to drill a hole in the ocean and get the water to go into another ocean so that one ocean becomes empty and another one becomes full. And that way we got a lot of room for skating, because I would assume if you could just drain one ocean and just fill up the other ocean, use the water from one ocean and fill up the other ocean, get double the water in one ocean and no water in the other. Now you got a huge skating park for whoever skates, and double the water in the ocean in the other ocean for whoever likes double the amount of water. And you're like, we can't do that, it won't hold. We can build walls that we can contain it. What if we build a giant wall around the ocean, like a giant dam, surround the and just empty out all the, why don't we just place all the water in just one place? Why don't we just desalinate the shit out of it, just bring it all together, just get the salt out and make sure the other oceans, lakes, rivers are emptied out. Okay, perhaps that one's not the, yes, that could lead to some ecological catastrophes. Perhaps I'm not a water expert, but I'll say this, I would like to see some draining of, maybe drain both oceans. Maybe just drill a couple of holes so we can just, play around with the water levels. Maybe that. Can we play around with the water levels a little bit? We sure can. And guess what? The first step is to be able to light that shit up. And if you're underwater, you're not going to be able to keep it litty with just the glitter of your eye, just the shimmer and the sparkle of your bright, beautiful eyes, your hopeful, beautiful eyes that are looking into the future and the present. And you're like, man, this ocean is fucking dark, but I'm not afraid, because my asshole is gonna be fucking beaming lasers out of it. Son, daughters, lesbians, my fellow straights, my gays, trans, whoever's, but that's just what's up, fam. But that's just what's up. But we do, speaking of straights and gays, I do gotta say this, because there is straight jackets. There's straight jackets, but there are no gay jackets, which is, you've seen straight people wear straight jackets, you've seen gays wear straight jackets, but they call them, which is a little bit confusing, because I don't know what the gays would wear. If it's called straight jackets, then what are the gays wearing? And if the straight jackets are basically confining you and holding you, if it's wrapping around you and it's called a straight jacket and you can't get out of it, but only magicians and really good criminals who can or people who go numb from the neck. If you're paraplegic and your thing is to put yourself have somebody put you, because you can't put yourself in a straight jacket, but you ask for your caregiver to put you in a straight jacket and then get out of it. But if a straight jacket is confining and it's wrapping your arms, then I suppose the gay jacket is no sleeves at all and it's giving you a lot of room. Then maybe it's not a jacket, maybe a gay vest, maybe a gay blazer, because the straights have the straight jacket, and again, confines your arms, holds it down, doesn't let you move your arms. The gay jacket, I'm assuming that the gay jacket will let you move your arms in all directions. Maybe the gay jacket should probably not even maybe it shouldn't be a jacket. Maybe it should just be like a t-shirt. Maybe it should just be maybe a necklace. That'll give you maybe like a neck warmer. Maybe just a neck warmer, a gay neck warmer. That's what it should be called. Because if it's a straight jacket, it wraps around you, doesn't let you get out, doesn't let you move your arms, we don't have straight pants. That's because we don't have straight pants or gay pants. That's just something that's not even talked about. Straight pants, I would assume, is both legs are stitched together so you can't really walk. Try getting out of that. Straight jacket, I'd like to see straight pants. I'd also like to see some gay pants. I'd like to see some, and I guess the gay pants are the opposite of straight pants, which means that if the straight pants are stitched together and you can't move, then the gay pants are really like extremely loose pants that'll have to make you move. That's probably that makes sense. Gay pants and gay jack. I do want to see that. But ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to talk about what you're wearing. It's not about what you put on the outside. It's what you put on the inside that counts. And we heard that from the mouth of Dr. Vincenzo Picciuti. And man, oh man, ladies and gents, I'll say this. Let me get a sip of this bad boy. And take a look at the time. And by looking at the time, I can tell you that it's been a great day. Time flies when you're having a good time. I hope you guys and gals out there are having a good time. We've discussed a lot of things today. Have fun out there. It's the weekend. Where can you find these videos, man? On Instagram. Follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. Help yourself, help your boy, help the algorithm. The algorithm needs your help. The algorithm, I've seen the algorithm's not doing well. It's on the corner of the street, sucking dick with needles up its arm. You don't want to see that happen to the algorithm, do you? So go ahead and subscribe. Or you're like, man, we gotta let the algorithm run loose. So do that too. But subscribe anyway. Tell your family, friends, your loved ones. Tell your local politicians. If you go to a circus, if you go to a bar, if you happen to be at a coffee shop and they're like, what's new? Tell them about the podcast. Stick it right in their face. If you are trying to bond with the fellow or lady in the bathroom stall next to you and you're just stalling time, both of you are just sitting, just stalling, and you hear a knock and they're asking you anything good out there, want to slip anything under your bathroom stall to see if this party is going to get a little bit. You slide over a little, put on the show slider of your phone. Next thing you know, we're all flushed. Splish splash. Check out patreon.com/Rob if you'd like to fiscally, financially support the show. I'll be back here again next week. Love you all. Thank you. Take good care of yourselves out there. I'll try to do the same thing. Get out of here now. Peace out. Get out of here.